Ah, there we are.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to FTB Sports. That is part of us. But welcome to Paxton Road TV. This is the Paxton Road TV reaction show for yesterday's game. We are a little bit late. We usually go straight afterwards, but I mistakenly thought it was going to be extra time, then penalties, and it would have been late. But it wasn't. It was straight to penalties. And the score, 2-2. Spurs win, 3-2 on penalties. And in the house, making his debut appearance for Paxton Road TV, it is Paul Always Spurs, PS 13. How we doing?
Nice right? Mouthful there, Sam.
Yeah, I'm all right. PS 13, sorry. Season ticket holder. And we are, again, on this channel. Let me just get up the old banners in the background. So it's there. Paxton Road TV. Wolves 2, Spurs 2. Spurs win 3-2 on penalties. Paul, welcome, as I've said before.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know you'll contribute. We welcome all your comments, and now you're live on YouTube. So, tell me, tell the viewers, how did you find the game? What did you think of the performance? Obviously, the result was all important. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I must admit, we were watching a not the greatest of feeds, but do you know what? We saw the lineup, and I do wonder a little bit about 4-3-3 as a starter, but it was great to see Ndembele, Tungi back on, Jaffet starting. The lineup looked relatively decent, and then when we saw the Wolves lineup as well, we thought, okay, we're taking this a lot more seriously. And the way we started, you thought actually it looks a little more front foot. The way the guys were playing, this kind of motivation seemed to be, much higher than we've seen. It almost felt like.
I'm gonna get you to hold the fort, because we've got coming up in the house, as he is always. We've got to pause everything for when this guy comes on. Sid Spurs, our regular contributor from our Sid. He's joining us. I was mid-flow with Paul, but I said to Paul, right, I'm going to stop because you've got to come on. But I'm going back to Paul, so you just hold yourself in the
worries. No priorities there, Sid.
All right.
All right, man. Yeah, good. Thank you.
The beauty of live streaming is fantastic. Anyway, sorry about that, Paul. Carry on.
That's all right. That's cool. No, I was just saying it just felt the motivation, the mojo, let's say, was there at the beginning, and obviously we made a relatively quick start, and it just felt that if we can do this for 90 minutes, the ball was being moved around, with confidence. We can get something out of this game and take a team that obviously initially weren't taking it as seriously as us, bearing in mind the lineup the Wolves put on versus us. So I was really, really encouraged by it, and obviously Ndembele's goal was that sort of linchpin for that type of performance. And as soon as that went in, I don't know about you guys, I thought, here we go, come on, this is it. This is Tungi's time. This is the moment that we start to see the flair, the contribution, being up in the box, front foot football. This is it. Everything as a Spurs fan, you just crave from this guy. And we celebrated it like, it was a cup final goal. I don't know what it is about this player that we just crave. That's the only thing I can think of is as a word, is that we crave these performances out of him, because we know that we'll probably talk about this later, but after losing players like Eriksen and especially Dembele, we need a player like this to galvanise this Spurs team, because there's no one else anywhere close that can do that. So celebrated that goal, and of course in quick succession, seeing Kane bury a typical on-form Kane type of goal. I mean, let's not underestimate how classy, world-class goal that was.
Who passed the ball to him?
Delhi.
Do you remember?
He's setting us up. Oi, Paul, you gotta watch this guy. He's setting us up here. Deli's his favourite player, and he's not having Lo Celso. And bearing in mind yesterday's performance from Lo Celso, I'm not having Lo Celso from yesterday.
Thank
as
well.
you. I can honestly say I thought there's a player in him, and I've always been vouching he's not playing in his right position. He's not fit enough. He's injured. He's coming back. But yesterday, he just didn't look good enough. If I'm honest with you, I just didn't look good enough. I didn't even know he was playing at points.
Fun enough, I said that. That's exactly the word.
Yeah,
taken off. You wouldn't have known he was playing on the pitch.
Didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know.
You're sounding like Boris every time he comes on, every Fridays or whatever, making excuses after excuses for this guy. At what point are you not going to smell the salt and realize he's a fake, he's a fraud? Even Tanya yesterday was saying the same.
Let's not go too far on ourselves. So I'm still going to give him a little bit of time. However, what I will agree with you 100%, the last few performances have not been up to par for me.
No.
I think Nuno seems to want to get him up to speed. We do lack enough creative players. So Tanguy coming back into the squad, coming back into the team, the last 3 games I think now has obviously proved his worth in terms of his ability. Cannot be questioned. His technique, his ball skills, just the way he can manipulate the ball at times is incredible. But we need that consistency. We need him to get his head switched on to the fact that he is almost, he's not world class yet. The world class players, I think you have to have consistency. He's got world class talent, but world class in terms of consistency, he needs to work on that. If he does, and it does come through, he will be a fantastic player for Spurs for years to come. If that's because he's young enough. What is he, 23, 24, something like that? Sid, what was your thoughts on the game itself? I know we got the win, but technically it was a draw. We haven't now won in 4 games. You know, we've drawn 2 games 2-2 and lost 2 games 3-0. So it was all important to get through. But what did you think of the game itself?
You know, first off, I think we played really, really well. Everything gelled. As soon as we saw the formation and the players that he picked and the team that he picked, I think Mike got his wish and he played that 4-3-2-1 formation. All of them looked. They were on it. Once or twice, there was still that little bit of, you know, we could have moved it a little bit faster. We could have, the passing could have been a lot quicker and more direct and whatever, which it wasn't. But you know what? 2-0 up after 23 minutes, we should have put that game to bed. Absolutely should have throttled that game, buried it once and for all, and brought Scarlett on in the second half, give Harry Kane a rest, and just, you know, but I sort of sensed something was going to happen because I don't know what it is with defending corners. We cannot defend corners and our players go missing. And lo and behold, 4 minutes before the end of the first half, they got the equaliser. And then you just knew that they were going to be on it. And Spurs being Spurs' second half performances.
Here we go again. We're going to have to stop again. We're going to have to stop again because we've got somebody else coming in the house. Here's another one. Here's another one we have to stop everything for to bring him on. Here we go. It's Hotspur Hustler. We had to do the same for Sid as well. And I've had to tell Paul that you lot are that important. We stopped streams for you. That's what it is like. Anyway, full house now. This is what it's about. We've got Hotspur Hustler in the house. We've got Paul in the house and we've got Sid. Carry on, Sid. Sorry.
Yes, so second half, I don't know what it is. Last couple of games, we just seem to fall asleep second half. I don't know why we can't carry the ascendancy that we do in the first half, the motivation, the performances into the second half. And slowly but surely, you could sense that Wolves were going to get back into this game. And we don't like pressure, mate. As soon as we put under pressure, we just buckle. And everyone stopped playing. I mean, I don't even know if GLC's actually started playing at any point of the game, right? But it just didn't happen. And although we had 1 or 2 chances in the second half, you could sense that the longer it goes on, because we seem to bottle it for some reason. I mean, even like the long, simple passes became long balls, just kicking. How many times in the second half, I don't know if you guys noticed, did we just boot the ball up into no man's land for no reason whatsoever? And we've got time and let's just play the ball. But like you said, Sam, at the end of the day, we didn't buckle. We got it to 2-2. And then, let me just say something, yeah? When you bring a sub on and his first touch is to take a penalty, this guy is not a penalty taker. But Mark Noble, if you're watching, can take a penalty.
Gonna give some shout outs to some people watching. Kimby, she's saying the hustler, he's in the house. As you can see, he's at the top. Eddie Ryan, thank you for watching, Eddie. We've got Main Joe in the house as well. Who else have we got? We've got Rels Sadkut, I think it is, if I pronounce that right. Apologies if I haven't. Graham in the house as well, spelt very strangely, but I like that because I can see that. And Cuba99, welcome everybody to the stream. Let me just come to Mr. Hustler. The result, again, we just talked about earlier, although technically we've won, that's no wins in 4 games in 90 minutes, but we won on penalties. And I think going back to what I said, I think after the reaction show that we played, who did we play at the weekend? I've forgotten who we played. My memory's going really terrible.
Chelsea.
That was Chelsea game, wasn't it? I've tried to erase it from my memory. That's what I've done.
Just block it out.
So, so the Chelsea game, it was like I said, it was all important. I don't care who plays, who was on for Wolves. We just had to get through that. We just had to get through to the next round by hook or crook, because the fact if we didn't, it just would have piled much more pressure on Nuno ahead of the North London derby. And he did. To be fair, the first 25 minutes, we looked really, really good. Harry Kane, it was a masterstroke giving him the captaincy yesterday, gave him the responsibility. And as we've all talked about, he was playing a bit more as a number 9. So, yeah, it was interesting to see. So, again, coming back to you, Mike, the actual result, all important, but what was your thoughts on the players' performance?
Oh, do you know what? Even though Wolves got back into it, you take out Ndombele's 2 mistakes, which I think the first one, it was a bit similar to Dele's at the weekend, where he just needed to be a bit more aggressive in terms of showing a bit more intent in trying to get the ball out of the box from that set piece. But you take that mistake away, because it is a mistake. He should have done better with that. And the second goal, which I've watched the replay. I know we've had a few discussions in the Twitter groups that we're in and stuff, and I think that was a foul on Ndombele. The Wolves player didn't touch the ball, and I've looked at this at different angles. There is no actual touch on that ball from the Wolves player. He's taken Ndombele from behind, and Ndombele's through momentum and tripping over that, he's then kicked it on, which then led on. It's a foul. It's a foul, and it was right under the referee's nose, which you could argue that's just poor refereeing there. And if you take that out from the game, I still don't. I honestly, I felt quite comfortable. I don't think Wolves would have scored if it wasn't for those 2 mistakes. And you could argue that there should have been 2 There's 2 other things that should have happened. One, Romero or Sanchez should be shouting at Ndombele that there's a man up his backside. Secondly, release that ball quicker. And you could say from a third perspective, if Romero's got that spatial awareness, i.e. he knows that the defender's on his right-hand side, he should be able to read what's going to happen, i.e. the Wolves player is going to slip the ball in to the striker, and he should read that pass, and he should someone that can intercept a pass and like Romero can. I think he should have done better there. So you could argue that a combination of the foul on Ndombele and in that through ball, which Romero probably should have done better. Other than that, I don't think Wolves would have scored. And I just think
I got a little bit concerned when they brought Traore in. I'm not going to lie to you, because that guy can cause problems. The only thing with him is he's got no end product, very little end product. If he did, he would have made a massive difference in that game, because he was literally just taking. There was one point where I think it was Romero tried to almost take him out. He just almost brushed him aside. Davis was a mismatch against him anyway. So if he got it right,
You see what Hill did to him?
Yeah,
He was the boy.
took you out, didn't
Our
he?
little Spanish
Took him for one.
wonder of the
Skip as well.
world.
He's got that, but I wouldn't want to fight him.
He's got Traore's number there, mate.
I wouldn't do that on a regular occasion with him. But no, my point is that they had opportunities. Then Donka was a mismatch against Ndombele in the corner. That shouldn't be. You shouldn't be marking him.
No.
But yeah, if I don't mind him Ndombele in that situation because it was a foul. He would normally get out of that situation. So again, you can put it down to the fact that was it a referee? Should he have maybe moved it on quicker? I think it was a foul. We all can agree that. Just now going, I want us to come to the starting 11. So looking at the starting 11 from yesterday, and Paul, just to get your thoughts on it, who do you think was like the player of the game? I say man of the match, player of the game, man of the match. Who for you who stood out?
For me, I thought Brian Hill. Just purely for effort and actually, picking up the ball and turning. Mike, I agree with you. The players like Lo Celso, Dele, Tungi, they seem to, and Lo Celso, all of those midfielders seem to have turning circles like juggernauts. They go at a snail's pace, and there's no. And this is indicative of a team that's not playing with confidence. Because if you're snappy and turning quick, where Brian comes on, and it's a bit like Moura. I mean, for me, Lucas Moura is our Traore. He does exactly the same. He gets as quickly up the pitch, and he loses the ball. But Brian seems to. It looks to me like he's got end product coming. He looks an absolute baller. So for me, just for the love of watching good midfield wing play, if you like, coming in, picking up, driving, I thought he was our man of the match. Really.
I think with regards to fit, I mean, you could see the players that are fit, like Skip looked fit yesterday, whereas he didn't look fit at Palace or against Chelsea. And Ndombele, when you look at their fitness levels, Ndombele's miles away from the levels that Skips out in terms of
he completed
fitness.
90 minutes though. That was
he did 96, so that's a big thing for Ndombele. Doing 96 minutes, fair play to you, but he needs more of those 90 minutes in the system to be able to get to that match level, that match fitness where he's turning quick, he's seeing a pass quicker, he's making challenges quicker, etc. Like you look at Hill, the fitness levels of Hill at the moment, he looks sharp, he looks match fit. Him and Skip, I'd say they look miles ahead in terms of finish. You look at the back line, Sanchez, I thought looked sharper than Romero. Tanganga looks fit, same as. I mean, Davis looked a little bit. Again, he needs minutes in the tank, but
I don't think we're going to get anything but Davis being.
Well, yeah.
Davis is Davis. Davis is our utility player. He plays so we can rest Region. In far as I'm concerned, that's what he's done, and that's what he's done. So Region will come back in on Sunday. Sorry. And
the same with Celso. He doesn't. They just don't. Their fitness levels are all over the place at the moment, and you could argue that there's a combination of injuries. Well, I'm not going to use suspensions because none of them have been suspended, but injuries and a few of them being out of the country due to internationals and stuff like that. Yeah. They just need time. They just need time.
No excuse.
Is it just fitness though? Because I'm not convinced. No. I think a lot of these are
fitness and confidence.
I just think the way we're set up and playing at the moment is that we're losing the ball really, really quickly. And later on in the games, that seems to me that it is a fitness piece. But I think a lot of it's down to frustration and the patterns of play between those transitions from defence to attack are just not there. The kind of natural fluidity that allows you to sort of progress down the pitch. I just don't think they know their roles yet. And
it's the formation. I don't think the formation suits us at all.
I think and just why I want to come to Sid because he's going to have an opinion on this. I don't always think some of the players are playing in positions that necessarily get the best out of them.
Yeah.
Lo Celso on that right, he's not a right wing. I know what he did at Betis, but he's not performed there in any games I've seen him play. So
not even for Argentina.
Yeah, that experiment should be finished, and he should try and find him. But what did you find that Lo Celso did, if anything, in the game yesterday, Sid? Did he bring anything to the team? Put it that way.
Yeah, he brought was it Højbjerg onto the pitch? Or was it Son?
Apparently he brought some oranges on at half time to the lad.
Yeah. Do you know the problem is he's been given that number 18 shirt. He needs to now work on YouTube or ask everybody at Tottenham who's been wearing that number 18, because he's got big boots to fill. Jermaine Defoe, right? He's got some big boots, and
Jermaine Defoe's boots weren't that big because he weren't that big a player. But anyway, sorry.
That's right, exactly.
being silly,
absolutely. But the problem is, I don't know if you guys noticed yesterday. Again, the thing with him is when he loses the ball, he's got no urgency to try and win that ball back. He becomes so lethargic that he just looks at it and he thinks, you know what, forget it. Someone else can go and do that work. And that's what I don't like about him. Whereas if Dele loses the ball, you know he's going to go and try and get that ball back. Yeah, I know everyone gives Dele stick and that. But the positionings, like yesterday, I think sort of it was okay. And Ndombele playing and Skip playing where. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this Højbjerg and Skip two together, I don't know if you think that's a good idea. And when you know Ndombele is coming back to fitness, Dele now needs to be put into the position he's good at. He's already said it himself.
Where's that?
So
where's he good?
I think he's behind. Look at that ball he played through to Kane. Just look at that ball. How exquisite was that ball?
We've been crying out for this Dele Alli for nearly 4 years now.
But I can't
have one. There. Yeah, no. I can't have one assist and then we're thinking that Dele Alli's back.
No.
Do you know what
I'm saying? Sorry,
yeah, go on.
What I'm saying is start playing him in that position. Give him 3, 4, 5, 6 games in that position. If he doesn't deliver, then we say, you know what, mate? Okay, we've given him a chance. This is not going to happen for you. But we've been crying out for somebody like him to play in that position. You've got to play the players. I mean, for me, Lo Celso just doesn't do much, right? And now Ndombele's come back to fitness. Hill's obviously now crying out for a start. We've got Lucas Moura to come back as well. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, and Bergwijn. So it's going to be an interesting
the thing with Lo Celso, we're not playing him in a position that is natural to him. I mean, if you're playing a 4-3-3, it's a hard formation. Like from a physical perspective, it's a hard formation for the midfield and for the two out on the flanks on the three up top. I mean, you've got to be naturally fit to go up and down that flank, and you could argue that's just Lo Celso. He hasn't got the legs for it. You can see he hasn't got the legs for it.
But they all want to play in those. You can see that their headspace is motivated by one-touch football. If you see where Ndombele comes alive, it's almost like they give up because in the last couple of games, when Ndombele picks it up like Musa did and drives and he gets a 1-2 going, he loves it and he will continue to run beyond. As soon as that breaks down and stops, he gives up. He's just like, and I wonder
because they haven't got the legs to get back.
Yeah, but Lo Celso's the same. It's almost like they were bought at high value, almost on this. You're going to be the baller for us, you know, almost not believing the hype when they first come. But you got to earn that. You need the team around you to create you. And what happens is it's all focused on Tungi or Lo Celso. The trouble is the team around them are just not following the same. I can't see the patterns of play. Certainly not under Nuno. It was definitely not under Mourinho in terms of the Tottenham way, the front foot football, 1-2 touch, move it down the pitch quickly. If we played like that, I am convinced these players would show their mettle.
Do you know what it is, though, as well, Paul? The two managers you've mentioned, obviously, Mourinho and Nuno, both, it's not their natural way of playing. I know that Jose went to Real Madrid and scored over 100 goals, whatever it was in the season, and he can play that way. But naturally, his Chelsea team were a very physical. They knew their roles. They all were very experienced, and they got the job done. If they went 1-0 up, game was over pretty much. And that's all they need to do. So he's built his own DNA from that. Nuno, again, a bit of a disciple of Jose, goes to Wolves. Championship did brilliant and has almost done the same sort of thing with Wolves as Jose has done. If you look at their stats, that backs everything up. They win, but not by a lot, and they only score 10 to 1 or 2 goals per game at the most, and the stats back that up. The difference now at Spurs is we, as fans, I don't think we're going to accept that type of football again. You know, having seen that with Jose for nearly 2 years, we just cannot have that again. So he's going to have to find a way of playing that suits the players he's got, because there's enough attacking talent and also to get the result, which is going to be the hard balance for him to do. What do we think of Kane yesterday?
I thought he done all right.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know why he done all right? It's because he stayed further forward yesterday.
We
looked more dangerous. We look far more dangerous when he's further forward. I mean, for his goal, it's just typical. It's just typical Kane. Stay further forward, and you're a threat. You're going to score goals. But if you're playing in that deep lying midfield role, thinking you're a number 10, it just doesn't work. And that's where I go back to this whole 4-3-3. The 4-3-3 allows Kane to drop in that number 10 and almost drop deeper to allow himself almost like he's a number 10, and just doesn't work. 4-3 just does not work.
Do you think Nuno's told him to maybe play a little bit higher yesterday, or do you think Kane has now realised I've got to do this anyway? Do you think it's always a combination?
I think it's a bit above. I think it's a bit above. Yeah, I think Nuno said to him, "Do you know what, mate? I don't need you as a centre half. I don't need you as a defensive midfielder. I've got Højbjerg doing that job. I've got Dyer doing the job. I've got Romero doing the job. I've got Højbjerg and Skip doing the job. You go where you belong, up top, and it'll come." And I think Harry Kane's probably turned around and said,
I think Brian, the way Ndombele and Hill started the game, helped him do that, make that decision, because they were picking up and driving and turning, and Hill was coming out left, and I think he thought, actually, no, I can do this. I genuinely, we are so quick to just turn. He is world class. You know, when him and Son were on side, you know, most of it was, you know, he plays balls that some of the top midfielders at Madrid and Barcelona play. You know, he's world class. He understands the game. I don't think it's instructive.
He's a world class finisher, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing.
That was a world class finish. Yes,
it was.
Yeah.
The ball was lovely. He took it in stride. Bang. Bottom left hand. You're not saving that, man. That's the thing.
This is it.
But if he's not in that position, then he's never going to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's the whole thing, isn't it? Like if he's playing on the back, if he's playing on those centre backs, sort of on their backs as such, and he gets the ball in, I mean, his intelligence is probably one step ahead of maybe the back line as to what they're trying to react, and he's doing what he's doing, but.
This is it.
I mean, it's just far more. We're more dangerous if he's playing off the back line, and he's more dangerous in himself. But
do you know, going forward, I think there's a comment here. Sorry, Paul, I'll let you come in next. There's a comment here saying, "I think Kane enjoys playing with Gil. Kane definitely enjoys playing with Son. So if you can get him enjoying playing with Son and Gil, that's going to get the best out of him, because that's what I think he's now going to be reliant upon, enjoying his football. If you get him enjoying his football, you'll get more out of him." Absolutely. Maybe his head will get back into the fact that, you know what, I'm not going to get this move. The likelihood is in the summertime, there's going to be a lot of others, as we talked about, that's going to be available. I'm going to be at Spurs. Let me just give my all for Spurs. I've got records to achieve. Let me do this. We may then even succeed because of that change of mentality. I'll be interested to see how that then translates into the game, obviously on Sunday. But if he can get Gil and Son playing with him and contributing with him, could be some good prospects.
The only thing is, you can't. It's difficult to have Hill, Reggie, and Son all left-footed players playing in the same team. I just don't see how that would. I just don't know how you'd get that balance. Like,
well, I would go for Hill as an inverted winger if I was honest. I'd keep Son on the right hand side because Son is predominantly right-footed, though he's both-footed, and I'd keep Hill on the left and maybe swap them around. I want to see an interchangeable front three. That's my point, because Kane popped up on the left every now and again yesterday. I don't think he's comfortable there, and I don't want to see him there too often. But just
in the middle.
But just maybe every now and again, maybe just fool the opposition. But get yourself in the box. Get yourself on the shoulder like he did yesterday. The ball from Delhi, which was a quality ball, Sid, I'll give him that. Get in behind and score the goals. That's all he needs to do.
Even the pass by Son as well. Even that cross by Son in the second half when Kane should have scored. Was it? Yeah.
That was a bullet header. And that
cross.
keeper... The keeper's just got cat reflexes, hasn't he?
Yeah,
He's relied on those reflexes. He didn't know anything about that.
Paul, I'm going to come to you. What are these stats telling you? For me, it was a close game. The stats bear that out. We had a few more shots. I guess that was more from the first half, but certainly shots on target. We seem to be pretty efficient. Anything from that we can take into the North London derby?
Well, an improvement, and a massive improvement in terms of shots on target. But if you think that's probably as many as we've had in the last 3 or 4 games, when you actually think about it. And back to your point, Sam, about players wanting to enjoy football, that's starting to reflect that. And if we can take that into the North London derby, 6 corners, the amount of fouls, 12. That reflects that sort of last 25 minutes of the second half where we just capitulated, in my view, and the confidence just drained out of the team. 50-50 possession feels about right.
Yeah.
And actually the shots on target, probably that enthuses me a lot more. We even saw Delhi put in absolute peach of a cross. The only negative for Brian was he should have smashed that into the left-hand corner, and we would have been. Was that at 2? Was that at 2-2 or was it at 2-1? I can't remember. Anyway, it certainly would have put us ahead and in control. So, I'm trying to put a positive spin on it, and those stats are much more superior than any game we've played so far in terms of the shots.
The only game that was comparable to this, I think, was the Watford game. But yeah, you're right. We seem to be almost aiming for this clinical, right, we only take 2 shots, let's get 2 shots on target. I think Nuno realises that I don't think he's going to get away with that, because we got away with it in the first 3 games at 1-0 with low amount of shots. You can't continue to do that if you can't keep clean sheets. Now, we've gone from having the 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 to now losing 0-3, 2-2, 0-3, 2-2. So something's changed in terms of that. Or is it the personnel? Could be a bit of both. Dyer wasn't playing last night. Sanchez, I think, needs a partner that's going to help him through, as does Romero at this moment in time, because of the fact that he's a new player, doesn't probably speak the best English. So he's going to need a little bit of guidance. I think Dyer's going to be that glue to bring those players through. So I think Dyer with Romero or Dyer with Sanchez is probably going to be a good partnership for us. Not because Dyer's the best centre-back in the world, but because he does have some leadership skills. And I'm enjoying seeing what he's doing, seeing him get players out, berating players, getting the line moved up. They have definitely been worked on, 100%. Who do you think, then, has maybe made Nuno think, right, I might need to start them on Sunday? Sid, who do you think?
Gil definitely won. And Ndombele, again, he started. So I think him and Gil, he's definitely going to be thinking, I need to start these 2. Obviously, Skip's going to start, isn't he? So there's no need to worry about that. But I think out of all
do you think Skip's going to definitely start? Because the reason I say that is if they change and put Højbjerg in that role, you could potentially then have to. I think Dele Alli is important for his energy. You might play Dele Alli and Ndombele and have Højbjerg, and then you could play a front 3 potentially of Hill, Kane, Son, if Mora or Bergwijn's not fit. Maybe. I'm just saying.
Bergwijn won't be fit, will he?
No, Bergwijn.
Bergwijn probably not.
Mora probably will be. But it all depends on the system he wishes to play. And going by your what you just said about the 0-3, 2-2, 0-3, 2-2, does that mean it's going to be 0-3 then this weekend?
I hope it's 3. Yeah. Well, I hope it is 0-3 this weekend, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope it is.
Yeah. But I think Skip's going to be the question, isn't it? Skip and Højbjerg. Does he play them 2 together? or does he play? The problem I think is if we play Skip and Højbjerg together, we're going to sort of go a little bit defensive wise, and we might lose that.
It's 4-3-3.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas if you take Skip or Højbjerg out, like what you're saying, Sam, either play Ndombele and Ali, you might see a bit of more attacking threat. So it's a lot of questions that Nuno's going to have to. Well, we're going to have to wait and see till on Sunday, aren't we? Really, because we can speculate.
Too much pressure on him.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
And there's it's such a.
It's a massive game as well, isn't it?
For him, you can sense it already, can't you? I mean,
yeah.
God, it looks like the guy's going to cry every time he gets interviewed. I mean, it's
the question. The other question. Go on. I was going to say the other question I'd pose is, who would you go with? Would you go with Romero and Dyer or Romero and Sanchez?
I'd go Dyer and Sanchez myself.
You're going Dyer and Sanchez.
Now, I'm gonna say Dyer and Sanchez only because the North London derby is a North London derby. We all know. That, I'm not saying Romero's not going to be up for it because I think he's a quality player, but I just think
he needs time.
I think he does. Just a little bit more time, just to see him play against certain opposition. Maybe some more UECL games, and then we'll see the real Romero. I think we've seen him, but there is still little bits of aspects of his game that need work on, and I think that's going to come with time. So go with what you've gone with that got you the 3 clean sheets in the first place, and that was Dyer and Sanchez. So why go away from that for a North London derby? Arsenal are gonna play in a certain way. So we've just got to match whatever they do in terms of that level of effort, and I think that will give us that.
The back line, it has to be those. For me, in my opinion, I think Sanchez and Dyer have built an understanding at the moment, and then Tanganga at right back, Reggie at left back. That'd be my back four, just because that back four hadn't conceded a goal when they've played together. So for me, you play that back four, you've got a solid back line that you know they've already got that understanding or some sort of understanding already. Tanganga, I've been really impressed with him this season so far. I know it's only 5, 6, 7 games in total, whatever. But I've been really impressed with him, and
he's going to have to be careful on Sunday.
I think he'll learn. I think
someone's going to have to have a word with him.
I'm with you, Mike. Tanganga, but towards the end of the thing is, the game is, especially North London derby. The game is, I know it's a cliche. It is 90+ minutes. Even yesterday, you just started to see the naivety of Tanganga. God, I hope it is 0-4.
I was going to say, very enthusiastic from Toxic headshot. Toxic, we love that. We love that.
Headline, what are you trying to do? But which is why I'm trying to sort of reinforce my point about where I would, cream rises to the top, and I can see from the way that Romero plays, he knows you've got to sit tight against those players. And okay, he's making the odd mistake, but the way he does it is class defending. Sanchez is all about recovery, and he scares the hell out of me. Yesterday, he got done twice, and he could have given a penalty away against Traore. He's that type of player, and I never thought I would say this, but at the moment, Dyer. The one thing, he's great. He's one of the only few with regards to high balls, crosses, corners that seems to get his head on it. Him and Kane are probably the two best defenders in that respect. Mm-hmm. And I just think we've got to get him and Romero getting that understanding, because I think that could be the leadership type relationship.
100%.
Just don't see with Sanchez.
Sanchez, as I said before, needs to be brought through, coached through games. He needs someone to drag him into position. He needs, right, where are you going? Come back here. There was a point in the game yesterday, I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if it was Pedence, it was some player. He basically did a pirouette. He was on the left-hand side. Did you see it?
Yeah,
he did a whole 360. I'm so glad he didn't fall over again like he did when he played Man City. Yeah. But his body positioning is that a bit out of kilter sometimes, that he just gets himself in awkward situations, and then he's recovering, and then he's getting caught out. Whereas I think Romero, you can see the class in him, He's got more ability to bring the ball into midfield once he gets more confident. So I think long term it will be Dyer and Romero.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm going to go with Sanchez.
Why not start that? I mean, this is the bit I don't get, because we're prepared to, give Tanganga the time, and he's younger, and he's nowhere near the finished article. But we're all sitting here going, "I love it." It's because we reward, don't we, that kind of type of play, and that's their instinct. So why not give that to Romero?
I think it all depends on the opposition. I think it depends on the opposition, because like Tanganga, I don't think Tanganga is not particularly great going forward. Whereas Royale, from the reason we brought him in is obviously he's got that intent to attack and hit that byline. Although we haven't really seen it, but then he's been brought into the team in sort of difficult circumstances as such. But I think in an ideal world, again, once Royals settled in and got used to the tempo of the English game, etc., I think you'll see more of an attacking intent from him as a fullback. But it depends on who the opposition is, because like if you've got a team that you think, we should be on the front foot and attacking these teams, then you'd probably say, well, Tanganga, we don't really need you at the right back because we should be on the front foot. So you'd play Royale. Whereas if you've got a team that we might not be on the front foot and the opposition will be, and we're going to have to sort of, I suppose, play maybe a counter-attacking style of football, then you'd probably be like against Man City, for example, Tanganga, perfect. So it just depends, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, go on. Kind of Pochettino, I just saw Adam, with his three at the back, you play with your wing backs. That suits that, but Nuno's, that's not his comfort zone.
But our wing backs are not that decent, are they?
That's what I'm saying. I think I don't. Again, we have been playing defensively quite well, but when you play three at the back, we'd have to play the three centre backs that we've mentioned that we're kind of trying to fit in a two. One of them then gets injured. You can't really play that system because I don't want to see Ben Davies in that back three.
No.
So
you got Rodon.
Well, you have got Rodon, but why is he not being played then? This is the point. So there's obviously something within what the coaches are seeing, what the manager's seeing, if Nuno's the manager, call him a coach, whatever you want to call him, that hasn't given, because if he didn't play yesterday and he's not, is he injured? Is he not injured? I don't know.
Exactly, yeah.
So if he's not playing yesterday, to me, that's a little bit of a sign because he's not played most of the preseason.
He didn't play badly against Palace.
I don't think he did, but there's something.
Right.
And I would like to, what I'm going to want to do is watch him just on his own as a player, because it must be something to do with his positional sense, why he's being not looked at as being the defender that we need. Because I think he's a good defender. He gets his head on things, but positionally, is he getting himself? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I need to really look at it a little bit more. Or is it his attitude? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what it is.
I agree with you. I think he should have started yesterday, wouldn't you?
He should have.
Yeah, exactly.
He should have started. In my opinion.
Should have started. But maybe he's just trying to get Sanchez fit.
Don't you, when he's on the pitch, and you get that instinctive, especially probably more so when you watch it on TV live. Rodon, whenever he's come on, I feel relatively comfortable. Whether he's starting or and when he came on as a sub, it was for Dyer, wasn't it? When he got injured, I felt really quite comfortable. Now, Sanchez, if he came off the bench, I would be like, whoa.
You should have been here last season, Paul. Hey, you should have been here last season.
So I'm agreeing with you, Sam. There must be something. I don't know. Is he getting drunk during training? I don't know. Something's happening.
There's something. There's got to be something. I don't know what it is. Just read out this comment from Big Pate. Thank you. Agree with back three. We won't see the best out of Sanchez, Romero, Rodon, or Tanganga until we switch from a back four. So there's people saying that we should go to a back three, which Nuno's very comfortable with. I personally believe that we should stick with the four because I think we've got more attacking intent if we've got a four, and we've got more attacking players as well. You've reeled off the names: Bergwijn, Lucas, Hill. You've got Son. You've got Kane. You can look at Ndombele. You can look at Lo Celso if you want to put him in there. Delhi. There's a lot more attacking intent than defensive solidity.
Yeah.
If you then throw in the wing backs, Reguilon's more attacking. Romero, Royale, Emerson, he's going to be more of an attacking. So again, we've got so much threat. I just think to go to a back three takes away one of them players, and I just want to see us be more creative, get more goals, and score more. I'll come around to all of you. Just your final thoughts on the performance, and obviously the look forward to the big one at the weekend. Start with you, Hustler. Start with the Hustler first.
I mean, it was a cup game, wasn't it? At the end of the day, we got the job done. I thought the penalties. I forget who was it. Højbjerg who missed the penalty.
Yeah.
I thought it was Højbjerg. I think the penalties, apart from his, great penalties. To be fair to him, I think each of them, apart from Højbjerg, hit top bins, didn't they?
Reguilon's is wicked. I love Reguilon's penalty.
Oh mate, that was a penalty.
It was quality.
And
even Hill's penalty was just as good. So we got the job done. It was a better performance than what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. It was better to see Kane further forward and not dropping into that deep midfield role. I thought Ndombele, regardless of the mistakes, if you want to call it that, or the errors, etc., that led to the goals, I thought he had a good game. He got 96 minutes, which I think is a massive plus for him. Hill looks good. I think although you could argue it was a 2-2 draw, we won on the penalties, but I think there's enough there to carry that into the next game
against Burnley.
Into Sunday.
In terms of Sunday, yeah.
For
in
Sunday,
terms of the next round, it's Burnley.
As in like momentum and stuff.
Yeah.
Burnley, we'll do Burnley in the next round.
Let's hope so.
I think I just don't like the formation. 4-3-3. It just doesn't suit us, in my opinion.
There's a good point here about Rodon, which Big Papes actually mentioned. Rodon must look off in training or something, but he always plays well in games. He's another one suited for free across the back, and I think that's probably true. That's a very good point. He does play better in a back three, and maybe if we do revert to a back three, he may then become a player. I just don't know if Nuno's gonna, particularly at home. I don't think Nuno's gonna play a back three at home. Maybe away at times he might do, but I don't think.
Where's the game on Sunday? Is it away?
It's at their ground.
It's at their ground.
We don't.
We're not very good there, are we? No.
We don't do well.
But then Arsenal, they're not hitting the back of the net. I know you could argue against Wimbledon and stuff, but they're struggling to score goals. So
you know the score when it comes to a North London derby.
Exactly.
You could be playing absolutely pants, and then we could get a 5-2 or whatever it is we've seen in the past, the 5-4s and all that sort of bollocks. When it comes to Arsenal, it's just about who wants it. You've got to stand up, and I want players to show me. I don't care about the result. Obviously, I care about the result because we know what we're going to get if we lose. However, if we see a performance and we see that the shoots are still beginning to grow and they keep on growing, I'm happy with that. And I would also like to see Nuno make decisions to affect the game. Don't just be doing this. Make decisions that's going to affect the game if you need to do that. Paul, come to you. Just your final thoughts on yesterday and how you're looking forward to the game on Sunday.
I'm with Mike really. I thought the penalties. I mean, I know one of my sons is he's on the chat. I was so Spursy saying we're going to miss at least one or two. But my God, clinical apart from Pierre, great penalties. I think overall some real green shoots from players that we've already mentioned. I don't think we've mentioned Skip enough. I think he was absolutely bang on yesterday. He really stood up without Højbjerg being in there with him. It's interesting that you posed that earlier, Sam, but he just, it's those fitness worries just dissipated. He took Traore out. You talk about Brian. I mean, Skip took him. I mean, it was brilliant. It was but it was that mature. I've got to put something on this guy. Somebody has got to put something on this guy and stop him running at us. Sanchez is scared of him, so I can have a go. He was brilliant, I thought. So green shoots, positive, 2 goals. We know we can be a bit more confident with penalties, and in fact, we have won a couple of penalty shoots out.
We beat Chelsea last season.
Yeah, exactly. So we shouldn't be. So Is it momentum? I think it's it's better than losing 3-2, and it's got to, isn't it, for confidence. I just don't know what team he's going to put out. I think he will start with Skip and Højbjerg, but a brave manager says, do you know what? We don't normally get anything out of the Emirates for, I don't know what, I can't remember when we last won. It must be like 2010, probably even before then. And if it was me, it's just like, go out and enjoy your football. We got to start playing on the front foot, because Mark, you're right. I actually think it could be a really, really tasty game on Sunday, because both managers are really under pressure. And I don't think that'll end up, I might be eating my words, but I don't think that'll end up being a sort of 0-0 kind of drudge. I just think, something's going to happen in that game. I can see it. And
I really do believe.
I hope we can do it, because I think we can.
Sort of game where, this is a sort of game potentially for both teams that could kickstart the season. What I mean by that is go on a bit of a run. Arsenal, obviously, if they win the game, level on points with us. They'll have to score a few goals to get above us, but they'll be level on points with us. We win that game. The confidence that will do for the whole squad. I think for Nuno as well, it will just take so much pressure off him. And he can then maybe have a bit more time to then, I can experiment, because we'll give him that time. If you beat Arsenal, I think any manager at Spurs gets a little bit more time because of that fact. And it's always the game that we always look forward to. So I'm hoping he puts in a positive performance. I'm hoping he goes attacking, but I'm also hoping that if he sees things that need to be changed, he changes it, whether that's defensively or attack-wise. Sid, your final thoughts on yesterday's game and the amount of things you're looking forward to for Artsy tomorrow.
So, first off, performance was really good. Individual performances were excellent. Some of you boys have already mentioned the play, so I don't need to go over it. My only concern is we need to just give them that something in that second half, or when they come out for that second half, and just show the passion that they give in the first half. I don't know what it is, what they're lacking. If they need me to go there, I can have my Ask Sid room and they can come and ask me and I'll tell them what they need to do. But no, just business as normal, like we did yesterday. First off, play the game 100%, like you said, Sam. Give 100%. Nuno to do what he needs to do, not wait until everyone's crying out and shouting at him to do it. Just do what he needs to do to influence the game. Bring the players on to influence the game. And I think after yesterday's game and the penalties as well, confidence. Because look at Galini at the end as well, the way he was running up and down and stuff like that. Hill and all of them. It was the celebrations and everything. So it's all there. And and on that point, they did look quite together yesterday. I must admit, seeing Kane, he wasn't the figure of Kane we saw against Chelsea. He was very. I guess goals do that. Goals will do that to him. 100%. So that's going to be obvious. But he looks like he was responsible. The captain's armband, and I like that. The body language completely different than it was on Sunday. So if he takes that into the game against Arsenal, we all know what Kane does against Arsenal. We could have a result here. I'm not sure what Toxic Headshot's drinking tonight, but he's saying 4-0 Spurs. I ain't going for none of that. Adam McFarlane, you'll have to tune into our preview show for us to get our score predictions. That's always fun. But it should be interesting. So just a few more comments here. We've got Bedknobs saying Lo Celso is dreadful. Hope Gill starts Sunday. That's not very nice, is it? I think he's not playing the best, but he's not dreadful. Come on, he's not that bad. I can think of better words.
We've got Derek here saying 3-1 Tottenham. Let's see. Our very lovely Jodie in the house. What's she talking to? Loved your dad on the Love Lounge last. What's going on here?
What's going on here?
What kind of?
Is that
What's going on here? Wow. What are we tuning into? I'm not having none of this bloody Love Island stuff or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, come on now. Girls, take it offline somewhere else. Good grief. Even Bob's joining in.
Bob was involved in it.
What's going on?
He was loving it.
Paxton Road TV taking a turn.
It's going on some different things. Anyway, they're having back and forth here. I'm going to come up with
Spurs Love Island. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Spurs Love Island. Well done, Hotspur. That is true. We're on some Spurs Love Island. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, comment. Thank you all for watching. It's been a real good show tonight. Apologies for yesterday. It was me. I thought it was extra time, and I thought, oh, it's going to be a bit of a late one, so I put it on for today. Normally, it'll be an instant reaction, but we won. We went through to the next round, so it don't really matter. And the big one, looking forward to that at the weekend. So we've got some shows coming up. Artsy tomorrow, 7:30, I believe. Special guest. I'm not going to say who. He might not want to say who, but we got somebody in the house. Look out
guess
for
what we were talking about.
Oh, it might be
Squally.
it might be Delhi.
It's not
surprisingly.
Bob Alley.
Bob Alley.
Bob Alley. Look out for Darius 3Ks. The lineup show again should be Saturday. We're going to be doing this preview show for the Arsenal game on Saturday, 12 p.m. And obviously, we'll have some input from some gooners. We'll find them under rocks somewhere, so we'll bring them out for this one. And then reaction show again on Sunday, 6:45. Look out for that. Guys, Hotspur Hustler, Sid Spurs, and new debutant on the show, Paul Always Spurs. Thank you very much. This has been amazing. A pleasure, as always. Guys, that is it. What a way to end it.
That was BBC News.
Oh, that's quality.
That was BBC News.
Was that staged?
Oh, that's good. Well done.
That's what happens when you debut on, Mike.
That is what happens when you make a debut. You get your son in the background. You dial me in. I like that. Anyway, that kind of threw me. That. What am I doing? I'm going. That's what I'm going. All right, then. Guys. See you later. Bye.
See you later.
Cheers, everyone.
I'm still laughing at that.